Most people will never experience real power. You want to know why? Because they don't even know what it looks like. Because they are asleep while it is being built. Because most people are asleep in their own systems. So that's right. If you're here with me at 4 a.m., you're already ahead. Welcome to Raw for Epoch 1, Day 87. We separate into elevation. Elevation. Everybody. Everybody wants elevation. But nobody talks about what it costs. Separation. Huh. Separation is the receipt for your ascent. You don't rise without leaving the ground. You don't dominate without disturbing the peace. At the top, at the tippy, it's not applause, it is echo. It is not community, it is clarity. And it is not lonely because no one loves you. It's lonely because you are no longer confused. Are you running the system or is the system running you? Let's get into a concept overview. We are elevating. Separation is spiritual, not spiteful. Hear this. Most don't feel fear failing, they fear being seen rising. Elevation strips noise, relationships, and emotional anesthesia. The higher you go, the thinner the air and the heavier the responsibility. Think about that. Give me a second here. 4:03 a.m. All right. Excuse me. I apologize for all the additional feedback coming from my physical system. An hour and 4 minutes into my day, my body is still trying to settle. We're talking about elevation. Might as well check the chat. All right. Visual metaphor. We call this the oxygen line. Climbers. Climbers rope up for safety at the base. Everybody moves together. Encouragement, teamwork, the illusion of unity. But the higher you go, the rope becomes a liability. The air thins, the pressure rises, the body starts to betray itself. And above 26,000 feet, that is considered the death zone. You are no longer climbing. You are surviving with every breath. No one can carry you. No one can breathe for you. Even love can't reach you out there. That's where separation isn't just required, it is enforced by the mountain. So you cut the rope, but you don't cut the rope because you're cold. You cut it because whoever you're tied to, you both die. You all die if you don't. The final ascent is solo, not because you want to leave them, but because the summit was never built to hold the crowd. When you make it, when you reach it, and when you plant your flag, no one sees the climb. No one feels the frostbite. No one hears the panic behind your calm. just air, silence, and the view you were born to withstand. We are talking about elevating. And the reality that we don't elevate because of what it looks like. Imagine that. But we want to elevate because of what it looks like. Here's my personal perspective. I just believe there's a reality we all subscribe to where hierarchy defines importance. It defines importance. Everything has a hierarchy. You see it in corporate, you see it on the block. Wherever people gather, power organizes itself. There's always somebody at the top. Always. And whether it's respect or survival, we all learn early. You don't challenge the top. Something's reflecting crazy to me. You don't challenge the top unless you're ready to deal with the fallout. So you see what the truth is. Hierarchy isn't just a concept, getting in order. It's instinct. Every system forms a structure. And in every structure, the top position becomes sacred, even feared, right? This is really bothering me. Because challenging the top threatens the entire system's identity. But deep down, we all crave the top. Like, who doesn't want to be on the top? It is why we chase legacy. It is why we seek titles, control, and purpose. It is why I also believe personally that self-dominion, the ownership of self, is the ultimate pursuit. Because if you can't rule you, ruling you, how do you expect to lead anything? And here's the really real, the hardest part. Most of us, especially if you're from where I'm from, we start as runners, right? The crowd, the base, the bottom tier. And stepping out of the crowd isn't just difficult, it's dangerous. Not because you aren't worthy, but because once the crowd sees you leave, they'll demand answers. And it's never just, yo, who do you think you are? To me, that's light. I find like it to be worse in this way. You will get the sense of, how dare you think you can be more than us? That is when the real separation begins. It's not external, it's emotional friction from within. Think about it. You start remembering every flaw, every weakness, every dark thing you hope no one ever sees. But that's why I keep telling you, you see it because you know yourself more than you might be conscious of. And because of that, you start to question, should I be rising? Do I have the right to rise? Remember that? I'm going to get back into the ant metaphor because everybody should love that one. They tell you only one queen exists. But the truth, once again, that we don't talk about out loud. Every ant has the DNA and root source to be a queen. It's just suppressed, especially once a queen is identified. We see the top, it's identified. Somehow we can't identify that way. But we're all queens and kings and top tier structure. Because if everyone knew they had that in them, you know what would happen to the system? It would fracture. So what do most of us do? They build, they carry, they serve. Not because they can't lead, but because they were taught not to rise. And that's what makes the top so lonely. Because to reach it, you have to violate a silent contract. Stay small, stay in formation. Don't waste the queen in you. But you already know. No way I could stay. I had to climb, and every step up felt like betrayal. Crazy to me and to the people, to the level below. But you got to keep moving. You got to keep rising. And then, of course, like the mountain, the air gets thinner, not because you're wrong, but because you finally reach the altitude of full responsibility. And from up there, when you elevate and when you separate, it's quiet. Nobody's really cheering for you and clapping for you. There's nobody there. There's no crowd. Just the weight of your own standard and the whisper of God saying, now that I've got you alone, are you ready for what I built you for? Do you want that pressure in your life? Most of us think we do. Most of us think we do. Let's tie this in with God today. And my favorite, Moses. I actually created this thought and this concept, the Moses mindset. Everybody wants Jesus, but we don't realize we got to grind like Moses. Even Moses didn't bring the crowd to the top of Sinai. God wasn't like, bring them all, bring my, no. God said, come alone. No entourage, no echo, just obedience and, elevation. And when he descended, he didn't need validation. He glowed. The reality is, true revelation doesn't come with a witness. It comes with a weight. Marcus Aurelius wrote this alone during the plague. Same with every general in every war making final decisions in isolation. At the top, history doesn't remember who cheered. It only remembers who had the strength to stand there. Are you willing to elevate yourself? Do you even know how to elevate yourself? When's the last time you considered separation for elevation? Are you holding you and restricting you? Let's talk about system separation. The altitude and how it enforces it. You start to think the rope is comfort, but the higher you climb, the more it becomes a tether to fear, hesitation, and inherited weakness. The people you used to rely on, now they're your anchor in the thin air. Separation comes when you realize your breath and your burden can't share the same oxygen. Your air is your air. It's not for anybody else. Spirit. God doesn't speak in the death zone like he does in the crowd. He whispers where only the obedient can hear. You're not abandoned. You've just ascended into a frequency few are built for. Elevation forces spiritual refinement. You don't just hear him clearer, you need him more. Why wouldn't you want to rely on God? If you're going to rely on something, why not God? You are anyway, just in other creations and creatures. System. Down low, community is protection. Up high, it's potential collapse. The system must reduce weight. We can't move with pressure. And what can't move with pressure must be cut loose with precision. The system doesn't punish disconnection, it rewards those who have the discipline to enforce it. You might have to cut everything. Of course, you already know there's consequences. Think of it like this. The rope never breaks gently. You'll keep gasping for breath, confused why every step hurts. Never realizing it's not the climb killing you. It's the dead weight you will not release. For your spirit. You mistake God's silence for distance when really You just brought too many distractions up to the mountain. And now you can't hear him at all. System consequences. You stayed roped. And you stay roped. This ain't past. This is current. It persists. You stay roped to those who were never meant to summit. Everybody can't go. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a summit. So the whole system suffers. The rope tightens, then someone slips, and the fall takes all of you. That's the terrible reality. The more weight you hold, the more restricted you are. Death comes to all. That's how we build generational curses. So at 4:17 a.m., let's check the chat real quick. It's still on the way. God is good that way. Let's talk about how to take ownership. We have to enforce altitude limits for yourself. Audit your emotional oxygen. Who or what are you dragging out of guilt? Cut one tie this week, not in anger, but in honor of what you are doing. It is honorable to cut something for the sake of your growth. It is. Go dark. I dare you. Spirit, pray in silence, not for strength, but for clarity under thin air. It's going to be hard, God. Help me out. Give me some clarity. Let me know I'm doing the right thing. Ask God to confirm what was meant to stay behind. For your system, imagine this. Can you operate alone for a day? Make a full move without sharing, announcing, or explaining. Let the action breathe at elevation. No rope, no spotters, no applause. Let's challenge ourselves. ARR, audit, replace, report. We call this the Death Zone Protocol. Audit. Where are you still roped to people, habits, or thoughts that can't survive at your altitude? Who do you keep dragging out of guilt? What conversations, distractions, or emotional loops are costing you oxygen? What part of you is still climbing for the crowd, not to the summit? Identify one rope that is pulling tension, not giving support. Who's holding you? What's holding you? Why is the rope so tight? We got to cut it. Replace. Here's a command phrase. Potential. Hear it, see it, digest it. Make it your own. I don't owe the rope loyalty. I owe the summit obedience. And when guilt rises, imagine feeling guilty for elevating yourself. Repeat it. When fear whispers, when the silence starts screaming, let it ground you at elevation. You have to learn to breathe up there. Then let's report on it. We audit, we replace, we report. Today, right now, cut one rope. That doesn't mean exile, it means precision. I love doing this. It gets addicting. It sounds a little bit narcissistic, right? Say no without explaining. Hey, Jeff, can you? No. That's it. No. Send somebody to voicemail, directly to voicemail. No. Move without announcing. Execute without waiting for permission. Let one decision prove you're built for thin air. My beautiful people, it's 4:20 a.m. I think today's Friday. God bless you. God bless all. What a life. What a life. Elevation. This isn't about isolation. It's about oxygen control. You can't save the system if you don't survive the summit. Breathe different. Move alone. Rise regardless. Own the system or be erased by it because you either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.